I feel like I've been fighting the overwhelm a little bit lately, and I am trying to remember to remind myself to enjoy the road and enjoy the journey and the process and everything that comes with being a human on Earth. I've been a human on Earth my whole life, and yet I don't feel like I'm very good at it sometimes, which is a funny thing to say.
She took like a flying leap. Duggos.
We have covered a lot of ground in a relatively short amount of time. When I ended the last vlog, we were in New Mexico, and now we are in Utah. We didn't spend very much time in Colorado, only a couple of days, I think, a few nights. There really wasn't a whole lot there that we were interested in seeing or doing, so we didn't hang out there for too terribly long. I feel very scattered right now, which I'm sure is obvious. We've had a lot of moving parts, a lot of things to think about, which is just how it is when you're traveling. You have to think about the next place that you're going to get gas, where you're going to sleep that night, how many days away you are from X destination because you need to pick something up, whatever. And then add to that the stresses of being in school full time. I don't recommend traveling and going to school full time. if you can avoid it, because otherwise it's a little stressy. And the last couple of days since we've been in Utah have just been a grind to get assignments knocked out, try to get ahead on things a little bit so that when the inevitable shit hits the fan at some point and we lose days because we're dealing with whatever, we won't fall super behind on our school. So this is like the first time in the last several days that I've like taken a moment to just sit and not do anything, not drive, not think about the next stop, not think about what homework I need to work on, not think about editing. Utah is beautiful. We are in a valley between two massive mountains, and on either end I can see snow-capped mountains as well. It's still winter here, which I should have expected and should have known, but for some reason I'm taken aback by that. But it's definitely been chilly, definitely been cold, and the snow on the hills reminds me of that every single time I look out the window. But it's beautiful, it's stunning, it's really, really unique, and I like it here a lot. I feel like I've been fighting the overwhelm a little bit lately, and I am trying to remember to remind myself to enjoy the road and enjoy the journey and the process and everything that comes with being a human on Earth. I've been a human on Earth my whole life, and yet I don't feel like I'm very good at it sometimes, which is a funny thing to say. But every time I start to get that feeling, I take a pause and I look around, and there's always something to remind me of how good life is. And I think tomorrow is going to be a really good day. I'm really looking forward to it.
And you ever wonder if days like these last with one another, with the feeling pass? Would you find out with me if it all starts to crumble? We'll search the pieces for hope or a mumble.
So we've been in Provo for a couple of nights now, and before too much longer it'll be time to move on to our next destination. But we are so close to Salt Lake City, and I've never been in this area, never been to Salt Lake City, and I feel like it would be such a missed opportunity if we didn't go and see the city, see what it's all about. And I happened to find the perfect person to kind of show us around, and she should be here before too much longer.
I'm a Santa baby. 'Tis the season.
Are you already
No.
in the mood for Christmas?
Okay, here's the story about that. Anytime I get in the car, it automatically pulls from my iTunes library.
Oh, and it's like
So
in a
songs
certain
that I've
order.
purchased. And there was only one phase of my life when I was purchasing music and not listening to Spotify. And that was in Alaska. So it's like a very specific phase of my
I'm excited to try this.
It's good if you like beer. I do like beer. I like beer better than like liquor.
Me too. I'm learning to
look at that
actually.
Ooh, it smells smells really good. Yeah, it's fruity. And that's what I like about it. It's like a bitch beer, but it's a real beer.
That's
Like a cider, but a beer?
That's super drinkable.
Thoughts? And like I don't connect with people online like this. Like this is so out of character for me. But like, yeah, it's all synchronistic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything of you. You too, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are a great couple. Thank you so much for coming on.
So Rachel and I became friends after I saw one of her YouTube videos where she was doing like a tiny house build, and actually Stuart found her and then made me watch her videos because he was like, this girl is just like you and you're gonna get along great with her. I can tell you guys have so much in common. And I ended up finding her on Instagram and we followed each other and struck up this like really organic friendship, which is such a rare thing for social media. Like I feel like that kind of connection does not happen as often as we would like it to with social media, but it did for her and I. And whenever we found out that we were going to be working in Idaho, I immediately got on Google Maps and looked and checked, and we were going to be going right through Utah. One of the routes that we could take would take us right through her hometown, and I was like, we have to go. Like we have to make time to go. I want to go and see Rachel. And it ended up working out really, really beautifully. Everything from like first initial conversation that we had all the way up to meeting in person for the first time. It was just so wholesome and good, and one of those things that I feel is so rare. Like those kinds of connections and friendships do not happen every single day, especially not in my life. Maybe in other people's they do, but it's really rare that I connect with someone like that. And it was so cool getting to spend time with her IRL and see her hometown and see Salt Lake City and just talk to her face to face. It was everything I was hoping that it would be and so much more. So Rachel, whenever you see this, you are amazing. I absolutely love you. I feel like we are soul sisters and in such a unique way. And I'm already counting down the days until we're coming back through Utah so that I can have another excuse to camp out in your town for a few days and hang out with you. So you have to go and check out her YouTube channel. She just vlogs about her life. She's done a whole bunch of different things. She's a super interesting person. Like, I just find her energy very like down to earth and calming, and I don't know, she's just very special. And of course I'm partial, but I think if you go and check out her channel, you will think the same thing. Her 2 kiddos are absolutely adorable, and yeah, it was a really cool experience, and I'm so thankful for how the stars aligned, that our paths crossed, and that I ended up in Utah in her town and we were able to connect. It was a really, really positive experience, and I'm still kind of riding the high of it a little bit. So far on this road trip, there have been lots of little highlights that have made being on the road really, really special, notwithstanding, the times where I feel tired or worn out or overwhelmed by just everything life is throwing at me. But this experience in particular ranks in like the top 3, if it's not my absolute number 1 for the trip so far. So yeah, it was a really, really cool experience, and I'm very happy that we got to have it.